There is a lot going on in the world right now, and I hope you are all okay. For many reasons, we can't produce the sort of videos we normally would, so instead of shooting a traditional vehicle review with this 2020 Mazda CX-5, why don't we do a little walk around instead? This is neither the newest nor the most exciting small crossover around, but isn't it gorgeous? I can see why it is far and away Mazda's best seller in America. Last year, this thing outsold the company's next most popular model, the Mazda 3, by a ratio of 3 to 1. Dealers delivered nearly 155,000 of them in 2019. Behind this pretty face, there is plenty of substance. Mazda's iActive Sense suite of driver aids is standard across the range. Now, this includes things like adaptive cruise control with stop-and-go capability. There's blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection. There's collision warning, lane departure warning, lane keeping assist, and even automatic high beams. Now, beyond all of that, every version of the CX-5 also comes equipped with rain-sensing windshield wipers and automatic on-off headlamps. Now, that last item is pretty standard these days. It's kind of like saying the car comes with no extra charge door handles inside and out. The CX-5 is offered in 5 different trim levels. There's Sport, Touring, Grand Touring Reserve, and then there's Signature, which is, of course, what I've got right here. Now, all-wheel drive is available on every one of those models, though it is standard on the top 2 trims. With a base price right around $26,000, the CX-5 is very comparable to a Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V, though naturally the Signature model is significantly pricier than that, but we'll cover that in just a little bit. Helping justify that figure, it does come with some pretty nice features, including things like windshield wiper de-icers, some pretty attractive 19-inch wheels with a dark finish. There are power folding and heated exterior mirrors. Oh, and plenty of black plastic cladding. Yuck. So what moves this crossover? Well, here we have a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that gives you 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque if you put 93 octane in the tank. You can run regular grade gasoline. 87 octane is perfectly fine, though you don't get quite as much output. It reduces that to 227 horses and 310 pounds of torque. Now, this engine is used in the larger 3-row CX-9 crossover. It has no trouble moving that vehicle, so understandably, it's quite effective here in the smaller CX-5. But if you don't need quite that much performance, a base engine is available as well. It's a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter 4-cylinder that gives you 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. But no matter the engine you choose in the CX-5 here, just one transmission is offered, a 6-speed automatic. With this turbocharged 4-banger and all-wheel drive, you should expect 22 miles per gallon around town and 27 on highway drives. Combined, this CX-5 should deliver 24 mpg. True to form, the CX-5's interior is absolutely beautiful. I mean, these seats are covered in buttery soft Napa leather. There is real wood trim, and of course, Signature models also feature a head-up display and have traffic sign recognition. This driver's seat power adjusts in 8 different directions, and both front chairs are heated and ventilated. I gotta say, these are pretty comfortable as well. As for the rear outboard seats, they are heated too. Mounted high on the dashboard is a color 8-inch touchscreen display that is home to Mazda's pretty dumpy infotainment system. Not only is this arrangement pretty unattractive, I find it quite challenging to use as well. As I said, it does have a touchscreen, but curiously, it actually gets disabled once the vehicle is moving. I'm not sure why they do that. Fortunately though, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are included, so those are wonderful options if you would prefer, and I certainly do. Now, the climate controls in this vehicle are of high quality, and they're very easy to figure out, but I kind of wish they would move them up a little bit higher on the dashboard to about here. They'd be just a little bit easier to use in that position. As for space in the back, this CX-5's rear seat is pretty tight. When I've got this driver's chair adjusted for myself, there's practically no legroom left for me as a passenger. As for cargo space, you get about 30 cubic feet with that rear backrest up, though if you fold it flat, that number does grow to roughly 60 cubic feet. Unfortunately, I can't show you what it's like to drive this vehicle. We're not allowed to, but I at least can tell you. Now, for 2020, Mazda engineers made the CX-5 here more refined. They've reduced the NVH, that's noise, vibration, and harshness. And indeed, at speed, its interior remains nice and quiet, and the ride has sort of a suppleness that you generally get in much more expensive vehicles, though there is one area I wish they improved, and that is the engine. It's a little bit noisier and a bit grittier feeling than I would have expected. This crossover is equipped with something called G-vectoring control. Now, what the hell is that? Here's the scoop. So as you're entering a corner, as you turn the wheel, the engine output is reduced slightly. I mean, a minute amount that you're not even going to notice. And the idea here is that as you're going through a corner, they're preventing the weight of the vehicle from shifting to the rear wheels, so there's more pressure on the front tires for crisper, more precise handling. Now, I can't tell you if it's actually doing anything, but I can say the CX-5 is an absolute delight to drive, and its steering is super crisp, so maybe it's doing something. With all that turbocharged torque under the hood, the CX-5 here has plenty of performance, and even though its transmission is pretty behind the times, at least from a gear count standpoint, I've got to say it works extremely well, both up and down. It's smooth and responsive. Really, you can't ask for anything more. This vehicle's driving position is quite nice, though I do have two minor complaints. One is the dead pedal. It's kind of intrusive, sort of too far inward into the footwell. Also, these A-pillars. They're frickin' huge. You've practically got to like lean around them to see when you're going through corners. Not good. The Mazda CX-5 is a lovely small crossover, and in many ways it feels a lot nicer than any of its major rivals. As for pricing, this signature model checked out for just a hair less than 40 grand, including $1,100 in destination fees. Now, is it worth that much? Well, it's hard to say, though that interior is super nice. Now, just 3 options added to that window sticker price. The machine gray paint cost $300, the rear bumper guard was $125, and then those roof rails were $400. Anyway, that'll just about do it for this quick walk around of the 2020 Mazda CX-5. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to stay safe out there.